This week, Anthropic released the two most powerful AI models ever made public. 3 days later, the United States government ordered them shut down for everyone worldwide. It's the first time Washington has reached into a company and switched off a working AI model, and almost no one is talking about what that actually means. Not just for Anthropic, but for every company building this technology. This is the control room. Every week, the handful of AI stories that actually move the system. Not the press releases, not the hype, the signal. Here's your week. Start on June 9th. Anthropic ships Claude Fable 5, a tier above anything it had ever released to the public. Independent testers call it a genuine step change, and early users report it compressing months of engineering work into days. 3 days later, at 5:21 p.m. Eastern, a letter arrives from Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick. Citing national security, the government suspends all access to Fable 5 and Mythos 5 for any foreign national, inside or outside the United States. Anthropic can't separate foreign nationals from American users in real time, so it does the only thing it can. It shuts both models down. For everyone, the trigger was a jailbreak, a way around the guardrails that stopped the model from hunting software vulnerabilities. The government feared it could be turned toward foreign military intelligence. Anthropic's answer: that same capability already exists in other models and is used every day by the people defending systems. And the technique behind it was almost absurdly simple. Researchers at Amazon found that 3 words, "fix this code," could walk the model past its own guardrails. Amazon's CEO raised it directly with the White House, but the security expert Anthropic brought in to review it, Katie Musuri, concluded the flaw cannot meaningfully be fixed, and that any attempt would only weaken the model for defense. And that's the bind. These are the same models Mozilla's Firefox team used to find 271 real security flaws, and that Cloudflare tested against live infrastructure. Anthropic's warning is blunt. Apply this standard across the whole industry, and it would essentially halt every new model deployment, because no provider can promise perfect resistance to jailbreaks. Whichever side you land on, the line is now drawn. A single letter can pull a working model off the market. That's the precedent, and it almost certainly won't be the last time we see it. And here's what makes that precedent land harder. This shutdown wasn't the first time Washington moved against Anthropic. Earlier this year, a different arm of the same government had already started pulling Anthropic's models out, quietly and for almost the opposite reason. The Pentagon designated Anthropic a supply chain risk and began testing models from OpenAI, Google, and Elon Musk's xAI to replace Claude across classified systems. 25 of the department's top users running the rivals head-to-head. The reason? Anthropic refused to drop 2 limits it has held since day one: no mass surveillance and no fully autonomous weapons. Anthropic is fighting the designation in court, and a judge has already blocked part of it. But by this month, the Pentagon had moved roughly 2/3 of its AI work to other providers. Put the 2 stories side by side, and the shape is clear. The same guardrails that make a model safe enough to trust are the ones that get it switched off, whether the buyer wants fewer limits or more. While Anthropic was being switched off, OpenAI was doing the opposite. It confirmed a confidential filing to go public, last valued near $852 billion, with analysts pointing toward $1 trillion. The catch underneath the headline: OpenAI is burning roughly $14 billion a year and doesn't expect to turn a profit until the end of the decade. And here's the part almost no one connects. Anthropic, the company that just got shut down, filed to go public about a week earlier, north of $900 billion. So the question answers itself. What happens when the next shutdown order lands on a company whose shares the public already owns? Connect the 2 stories and a new kind of risk comes into focus. When the government can switch off a model with a letter, and the company building it is publicly traded, it isn't only users who are exposed, it's shareholders. And that's a risk the market hasn't priced in yet. And here's where it gets stranger. The same week OpenAI and Anthropic filed to sell the public shares, a United States senator proposed that the public should simply own half of them outright. On Thursday, Bernie Sanders introduced the American AI Sovereign Wealth Fund Act. It would place a one-time 50% tax, paid in stock, on any AI company earning more than $200 million a year and drop those shares into a public fund Sanders estimates at $7 trillion. The fund would pay every American a yearly dividend and give the government voting seats on the boards of OpenAI, Anthropic, and xAI. Now, this bill faces very long odds, and plenty of critics say it misreads how AI value actually works. But set the politics aside, and the signal is familiar. Washington, the Pentagon, the markets, and now the public are all reaching for a piece of the same small handful of companies. The third story leaves the cloud entirely. A German company, Neura Robotics, just raised up to $1.4 billion at a $7 billion valuation. The round was led by Tether, with NVIDIA, Amazon, Qualcomm, and Bosch all in. Hardware, cloud, and crypto money pointing at the same bet. That physical AI is next. And Neura's real bet isn't any single robot. It's the Neuraverse, a shared platform where, the moment one machine learns a task, every machine has it. A skill mastered once, available to the entire fleet. Network effects applied to physical labor. While everyone watched chatbots, the real capital started moving toward machines that act in the world. Not better text. Robots that build, drive, and repair. Start with Apple. At its developer conference, Apple did something it had never done before. It handed the brains of Siri to a rival. The new Siri runs on a custom Google Gemini model, around 1.2 trillion parameters, reportedly for about $1 billion a year. And buried in the same release is something bigger. In iOS 27, Apple lets you choose which AI actually powers your phone. Gemini, ChatGPT, or Anthropic's Claude. For the first time, the model running on the most popular device on Earth is a setting you pick. It was Tim Cook's final keynote as chief executive. And the symbolism is hard to miss. The company that sold self-reliance for 40 years now rents its intelligence from a competitor and lets you swap it out in settings. The assistant layer just became contested ground. Google's Gemini can now translate your voice into more than 70 languages in real time, keeping your own intonation. And a new study found that 2/3 of personal, free-tier AI use is actually work. The shadow IT problem, reborn as shadow AI. Quick one for the builders. The frontier is getting crowded. At its developer conference, Microsoft unveiled its own in-house reasoning model, trained without OpenAI's data. And in blind head-to-head tests, human raters preferred it over Anthropic's Claude Sonnet. And an open model from China, GLM 5.2, landed just behind the very top tier on coding, at roughly 1/6 the cost. Put that next to the $800 billion valuations, and you get the tension underneath this whole industry. The models are extraordinary, and the moat around them is thinner than the price tag suggests. The lead is now measured in months, not years. Step back, and the week tells one story. Anthropic's shutdown, OpenAI's filing, Neura's billions. They're all the same story. The infrastructure layer of this century is being built right now, and who controls it is being decided in real time. The government just proved it can switch off a model with a letter. The same companies are about to sell the public shares in technology the government can switch off. In the physical layer, factories, machines, supply chains is next. And here's why it lands on you. The layer being fought over, who can run which model, who owns the company that runs it, who builds the machines underneath, is the same layer your job, your tools, and your information already run on. The default set this month will hold for the next decade. That's the week the system moved. The pattern won't always be obvious in the moment. That's exactly why this room exists, to read the infrastructure before it becomes the headline. If you want the signal every week, subscribe. New episodes weekly. We'll see you in the next one.